Rebellious nature and the stubbornness got me here where I am today.
How challenging is your work?
When I started my career, I started as an executive. The mentality is still the same. Even if you're an executive, to me being a CMD of a company, because I'm a female, I've always been looked up in a different way. I have two heroes in my story. It would be my father and my daughter. Always. We started in 2017, but Fortuna Global Excellence Awards was conceptualized in 2023. We have participants from 82 plus countries.
Wow.
Coming. It's good you rejected, because if you're not gonna get rejected, how you will know where were you lacking? If you need to leave a mark of your legacy, if you need to show your stance as to where you're standing today, you need to accept rejections first, failures first.
What does a normal day in the life of the star of the movie look like?
Very boring. Journey is the most important part of that success, and somehow people just omit it out of your life. We give the platform to people who've been like us, who've just been sidelined.
Big dreams don't come quietly. They demand risk, they demand fire, they demand crazy transformation. Welcome to The Corporate Life, hosted by Hina Siddiqui, CEO and founder of Corporate Influence Media and creator of the Let's Make You Famous 90-Day Celebrity Campaign and media strategist featured across 600 plus global outlets. Join us as we sit with million-dollar entrepreneurs, tech CEOs, and celebrities who share the scenes that shape them. Here, success isn't a headline. It's a human story. The turning points, reinventions, failures, breakthroughs, and bold decisions behind their rise. Because your life is a movie too, and you're the star of yours.
What Aditi's story reminds us is that leadership is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about choosing courage when comfort is easier, owning your power even when the path isn't clear, and continuing to rise without losing your humanity. Every bold decision, every emotional moment, every misconception challenged, they all become part of the story you leave behind. So if you're building something big, remember this: your story does not need permission.
Every life is a movie and you are the star of yours. I truly believe that 100%. Aditi, we have met before, and when we talked, I felt your story already sounds like a Bollywood movie full of drama, twists, turns, obstacles, uh, and courage. So today I want to go a little behind the scenes. Tell us about the star of this movie. What's your story?
Oh, I would say my story's been very eventful. Um, Started from the story starts from a very small town in India, in Uttar Pradesh. Was born and brought up in Kanpur. Finished my high school there. My father decided that I should finish my further studies outside Kanpur because it was not safe for females. Today it is, but back then it was not.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked my mother to take me and my sister to Mumbai. We finished our higher studies there, started work there. After many years of work, got married, decided to come to Dubai, started my own business. So it's been a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
I would say.
So how was your childhood like?
I was a brat,
Mm-hmm.
stubborn child. If I wanted something, I had to get it. I still have that attitude that if I want something, I will get it.
Yeah.
And I think I would give all credits to my dad for that,
Okay.
for making me the brat that I am today
Mm.
and the stubborn head that I am today.
Yeah.
Was never a meek kid. Was always, what do you call, loudmouth.
Okay.
Um, Back answering child who was always like
A rebel?
a rebel, next level rebel. I think my family was frustrated with me and what let's say. But yeah, I think the rebellious nature and the stubbornness got me here where I am today. Otherwise, if I would have been a meek child, I would have gotten married long time back, settled with kids,
Yeah.
uh, become a housemaker. Though it's not a bad thing to
I
be,
get it.
but I don't think so that's where my heart was, or that is who I was.
Yeah. That's the story of every second Indian girl, I would say.
Yeah.
That you are conditioned in a way that by the time you are 2028, 2022 or so, you will just get married. And by 20 8:30, I mean, you must get married. Otherwise, there's a problem with you. Yeah.
Otherwise, who's going to bear the child of the so-called person that you're getting married to? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in the problem.
Yeah. So being a rebel actually helps, I would say. Yeah.
I think you would relate to it. You're also one. I think that's why we've connected more.
Yeah, I have been a rebel, like not from the very early age. I was a very introvert kind of child, suppressed because my mom was very, very masculine, so I was more of feminine. And then I was being controlled by the family and by mom specifically. But then at a certain age, after seeing my own share of struggles and challenges, I found that being a rebel is a way out, right? And I just said that, okay, no more. Whatever I have gone through, I just want to get out of that and build a life of my own dreams. And then the rest is history. But then just tell me, were you a Papa's princess?
No, I was a Papa's prince. Always been one. Very proud of saying that out loud. That's why I've seen a lot of people getting daddy's little princess.
Yeah.
And, my dad's hero. I've gotten his signature done as my tattoo because I carry a part of him in me
Okay.
always. That's been the. I lost him at a very early age in my life. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And it was more difficult for my mother, I would say, raising two females in the house. How the society is.
Yeah.
Dad is not there.
Yeah.
Girls are going to become a brat. Girls are already a brat. Who's going to take care? Who's going to get married? I don't think so. Somebody who's supposed to get married to me is supposed to look whether my father is not there or there.
Yeah.
Because the person has to spend their life with me, not with my dad or with my mom, as a matter of fact. But that is how the society is, and you can't change the views of the society. To be very honest, I'm not here to change the view of the society. Society can do whatever they want to. I will do whatever I have to, and I want to.
Yeah.
Because that is going to take me where I want to be. Anyways, society is not going to come and put bread and butter on my plate.
Exactly.
I have to earn for that.
Yeah.
That's what I believe in.
Yeah. I remember that I was dating a guy at one point in time, and he said that don't listen to what people are saying because they are not going to pay my EMI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If tomorrow, for example, if I've taken a loan, I have to earn to pay back that loan. Society is not going to bring the money and give it to me or donate it to me. Child, please pay on our behalf, but be a good girl in the society. No, I don't want to be a good girl for the society.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be a brat in the society. As long as I'm making a difference to or into people's life, as a matter of fact. And this is what I tell my daughter also. You don't have to be mama's little princess. Please don't be a princess, because I can't take care of a princess. I was not myself. I was not a princess, so I can't just give you that princess treatment.
Yeah.
Be the brat that I am. I'm more than happy.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. It's not bad to be a princess, but princesses are supposed to be born with a golden spoon. I was born with a mud spoon, I would say. And I've made myself a golden spoon. And I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
Same thing I'm going to be imparting in my daughter. That though you are born in a family that you are getting what you want today.
Yeah.
But there will come a time that you'll have to learn the importance of what you're getting at the time you're getting. Because we did not have this much exposure to gadgets, to iPads. I think you can relate to it.
Yes, of course.
We did not have it.
We did not have.
Now, today's kids can't live without it. Fine. That's how the trend is going. That's how the Gen Zs are. But I don't care.
Right. So how would you rate yourself as a mother on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I would rate myself. I think if you'll ask my daughter, she's going to rate me as 10. But I, being a critic on myself as usual, I would rate a 5.
Okay.
I'm an average mom.
Yeah.
For most of the ideal mothers, I'm a very progressive mother, because I discuss with my child a lot of things that moms don't. And I think it is very important. If I am not going to discuss it with my daughter, somebody else is going to discuss it with her. That is not what I want. Because I might give her a better perspective of how I have lived my life as a girl, as a woman. And I don't think so. anyone better than me can explain her that. But
Yeah.
today, if she's going to reach out to somebody else or confide her problems in someone else, there's going to be a problem because you never know what that person's perspective of life is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And as a chairperson of Fortuna Group, as a powerful woman who is leading in this male dominated society, I would say that you are presenting a good example to your daughter as well. And you are showing that like as a role model. I'm sure that you must be a role model for your daughter.
Yes, I am. And to be very honest, she's the person who motivates me to work.
Critics
20
you sometimes.
critics sometimes, no, criticizes me all the time
Yeah.
on how I'm looking, on what I'm wearing. Why am I looking like this? Why am I not smiling more? So she always tells me, Mama, you have a beautiful smile. You should smile more often. I'm like, do you know the position I'm at? If I'm going to be smiling, I'll look like a fool. I'll look like a buffoon because I'm not supposed to do that. But you should smile. Okay, I'll take that feedback. But yes, being the position that I am in, Hina, it becomes very difficult and very challenging.
Yeah.
Because there have been times that I'm not available on special occasions. There have been times I've not been available on birthdays. I've not been available on anniversaries. It takes a little piece of you, but at the same time, I am very fortunate to have a daughter like her. Because she's the force that has actually pushed me to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very
She
interesting.
tells me day in and day out. So there are times now she's in a boarding, and she
She's
gets
just boarding in India.
yes, she's studying in a boarding in Pune in Maharashtra, and she just gets her phone for an hour
Okay.
in a day, and most of the time I am in a meeting at that point in time. So I think 80% of the times I miss my call with her. But I do keep a track of it. I apologize to her every time I miss it. But she's always been kind enough to tell me it's okay, Mama. I know it's your work. Don't worry, I'm fine. If there's anything, I will let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So how challenging is your work?
Very. I think, as I said, it takes 20 hours of my day out of 24 hours. So it is very challenging. But then the position I am at, it is supposed to be challenging. Because if it is not going to be challenging today, it's going to become more challenging tomorrow for me. So I would overcome this challenge now and enjoy my sweet time later rather than enjoying right now and regret later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to do that.
Delaying the gratification.
Yes.
Right. So when we look at a life, like there are lots of people around us, right? There's a hero, there's a heroine, there's a bunch of villains. There are supporting artists, like supporting people, and then lots of extras. So I want to ask you this: that who's the hero of the story?
I think by the conversation up till now, you would have understood. I have two heroes in my story. It would be my father and my daughter.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And I will not even shy away from giving them the credit that they deserve. Because my father honed me to be the person I am today. And my daughter is actually carrying his legacy by pushing me daily to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. Great. And your husband is your best friend.
He's my best friend. He's the support. He's the pillar that has given me the strength to believe in me. To when we started Fortuna, we were very skeptical. How will we scale it? How will we achieve what we're planning to do? But I think day in and day out, he's always made me believe that you still have to push yourself for your full potential. He still does that. So yeah.
So I think you have started 2023, right?
Yeah, we conceptualized it in 2023.
Yeah.
We started in 2017,
Yeah.
but Fortuna Global Excellence Awards was conceptualized in
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. And it's the function is coming up next month.
Yes.
Yeah. So how ready are you?
Never.
No?
We are never ready because me and Rahul, we don't come from this background at all.
Hmm.
We took this as tribute, and we just wanted to carry Rahul's dad's legacy. Hence, so this is a passion project.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't do it for money. We have our other businesses that support
Yeah.
us for that. But when we did our first awards program, we were as jittery as we are today when we're doing a fourth edition. So those jitters never go because it's a live program.
Yeah.
Something or the either is going to go wrong.
Yeah.
But we need to be prepared with plan B. Now, problem with me is I just don't prepare plan B.
You are like me.
No, I prepare till Z because you never know. Plan B might also go wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we never prepared before the awards program.
Okay.
No matter how much ever we say, yes, we are prepared. No, we are not. Because we very well know something's going to fall apart a day before the program is going to start.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're always ready for the challenges that are coming in our faces.
Yeah. And people from different countries are flying for this.
This
The
time it's
event.
from, we have participants from 82 plus countries
Wow.
coming.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have done an amazing job on Fortuna, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the obstacles, some of the villains that you have had in your life.
Oh my God. I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them. I don't want to name anybody as of now, but I have a lot of them. And see, it's not about a particular person. I think you can relate to it. When I started my career, I started as an executive, and the mentality is still the same. So even if you're an executive, to me being a CMD of a company, because I'm a female, I've always been looked up in a different way. You know, just because you're beautiful, you don't have brains. Just because you're beautiful, you don't know how to handle.
Yeah.
You should come and see how I handle my company.
Yeah.
So I am somebody earlier who used to get very uncomfortable. But now you make me walk in a room and I'll make sure if there are 10 men in the room, they'll just see my energy.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And that is what I always tell people. And so this is the biggest challenge that we've faced this time. And I think somebody asked us this question. I don't remember. So I was asked why there are so less female participants in your awards program. And it's difficult for me to explain because no matter, and I have spoken to lot of female entrepreneurs, but at some point in time, I felt that they don't want to compete.
Perhaps they don't think that they would win.
But that's not the point.
That's not the point. Yeah.
Winning and losing is a part of life.
Yeah.
But at least you should give it a try. If you're not going to give it a try, you'll not understand. And this is where the major problem is. That
People have a lot of fear of rejection.
But I think you should embrace that.
Yes.
That should be taken as a positive, not as a negative. And I've always been telling people, it's good you rejected. Because if you're not going to get rejected, how you will know where were you lacking?
Exactly. And that builds that resilience.
Yes. And you need to have that resilience. Because if you are in this, and sorry for quoting me out loud, you're in a man's world. If you need to leave a mark of your legacy, if you need to show your stance as to where you're standing today, you need to accept rejections first, failures first. You need to learn how to fall, because till the time you're not going to fall, you will not know where the ground is.
Yeah. And failures are so important in life, because I would see that, like, if I see my life journey, it's like, I think 80% of the failures. But then I just kept on failing. And one of my mentors, he says beautifully that fail fast. because eventually you have to fail. So
Yeah.
if you would not fail fast, then actually you would just delay the process of your success.
Yes.
So just do something and see, like if it's not working, it would not work. It's okay. Just move on with the next one and do the next adventure. So this is how you succeed in life. And I think this is the reason I have scaled up my company and my income and business by 1500% in less than 3 years. And I would say that even that was slow. I know the better ways now.
Yeah, because you failed,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So that's what my thing is. People always tell me that I think it's a bad thing to fail. No, it is not.
It's not. Yeah.
Even in school, when you were failed, you were given a second chance.
Yeah.
You were given a third chance
Yes.
because they wanted you to learn faster. They wanted you to learn better. So you have to fail in life because till the time you're not going to fail, you'll not understand how success is and what success is, what is the taste of that success.
Yeah.
And for that, I think you need to fall as many times on the ground. Just get up, dust yourself up, and move on.
Yeah. It's just a game.
It's just a game.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the game, like numbers game, I would
Yeah.
say. Aditi, as a woman leading in such a big industry, what has been your boldest decision so far?
Oh, my boldest decision so far was to start this company, I would say.
Yeah.
It was it was one of the major flip of coin that we took this decision on. I think when we decided to start this company, both of us were clueless as to what will we do. We started with 5 people.
Okay.
Now today we are 350 plus
Wow.
employee organization, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I know initially when you start something, you always have doubts. But I think it's good to have doubts. As I mentioned, it's good to have doubts. It's absolutely fine for you to fail because when we were building Fortuna, we also failed multiple times. We've changed our processes so many times. We've learned that, this is not working out. I think we should stop this. We should try it in a better way. So, yeah, I think this was my boldest decision that I've ever taken, to start something of my own. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about Fortuna. Like, what is the venture and what all you do under that?
We do a lot of things, but the major passion project that we do under Fortuna Group is our Fortuna Global Excellence Awards. It's, as I mentioned, it's an excellence program wherein we reward and we award people who have done major work in their life, who've not been recognized for the minimum things that they would have done. So we give them a platform.
Yeah.
And when I say we give them a platform, that means we have a panel of jury that decides. We are nobody to decide. And we don't decide because we don't have that expertise, to be very honest. But we have a panel of 75 jury members that decided on our behalf. And everybody has experience of more than 3 decades, 4 decades. So they are well-known people in their industries. And we give the platform to people who've been like us, who've just been, sidelined.
Building up, building their careers and businesses, but then they never thought about being recognized.
Yes.
Maybe.
So we give them that platform, and it's beautiful. Hina, you should hear some stories. I'm pretty sure you'll be there, but then you should hear some of the stories, because when we were taking interviews, and at times I'm somebody who's very emotional. So when I'm speaking to somebody and they're telling me their success stories, but always being a female, you get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
But the amount of resilience these people have, the amount of strength these people have, the zest in them to continue is something that has inspired me a lot. And Fortuna has been one of the best things that has happened in my life, is because through Fortuna, I've met so many people. It's overwhelming to hear some of the stories.
Yeah.
And it just, So it's very well said that everybody today, when they see you, that you're successful, they'll always see where you are after being successful. But nobody wants to look at the journey that you've been through.
Yeah.
But that journey is the most important part of that success, and somehow people just omit it out of your life.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're at this position. Very nice. No, I know the amount of slogging I have done to reach till that level. And just because you think that I present myself well, I deserve this, no. I deserve it because I've actually worked towards it to
Walked
deserve
that journey.
I've walked that journey. So till the time you've not walked that journey, please don't judge me. You want to judge me? Judge all you want. I really don't care.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you've not seen the struggles that I have been through, I don't think so your judgment matters to me.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't, Hina, to be very
Doesn't exactly. I would like to add here something that when people see your success, they think that it's an overnight success.
Yeah.
You have been lucky, or you have been given things on the platter, but it never happens like that. It's like it takes a lot of tears and blood and kind of sweat that we have put in the whole process and journey, and it's never easy.
It's countless sleepless nights.
Yeah,
Just you and a cup of coffee.
yeah.
I think cup is understatement. A jar of coffee, which is gonna just pull you through the night. Nobody sees all that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that when I started this thing, and for the 5 years, I did not make any money, not a single dollar. And I sold everything, what all I had, and then I was borrowing money from my family, and I was like, okay, will this struggle ever end? But then it's just that you never give up, and you just have that decision in your mind that, okay, I'll make it, I'll show up. For me, it was showing to the world that I can do it. I can do better than men. For me, it was like that.
No, it's always like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And we being, and I'm see, to be very honest, it's not that just because both of us are females and I'm all women empowerment. No, no, it's not nothing like that. It's just that I feel women have more caliber to be out there and to do what they want to do and what they deserve. The problem is most of us are held back. Either say by societal pressure, by family pressure, by taking care of kids. No, you are just not born to take care of only kids and households.
Yes.
You have a bigger picture and bigger things to achieve in life.
And for much more.
Yeah, if you can take care of a household alone, of 5-10 people in that house alone, imagine what you can do if you're at your full caliber.
Absolutely.
That's what I just want to say out loud, because I think everybody becomes very meek. Again, societal pressure, family pressure. But I think women need to understand their full potential.
Yeah.
If we can be one of the best homemakers, imagine if you go out in the world, the amount of difference that we're going to make.
Yes, yes. It's just about believing in yourself and making that decision and making that choice to do something meaningful with your life.
Yeah, but rightly said, like you had a support in your life. Correct. At some point in time, your brothers were there to support you. Like for me, my dad and my daughter are there. But there are people who don't have the support. Hence, I don't think so they're able to achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
That is where this entire thing is going on a different trajectory altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. And I totally agree with that. It's like it's difficult for people. It's difficult for women sometimes because not many women are so lucky to have
Sometimes.
support.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Sometimes no.
Yeah. But then it's our life, right? It's our
Yeah.
responsibility to make the best of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Aditi, can you recall of a very emotional moment
Yeah.
right now?
Yes.
In your-
And if if I'm gonna recall it, I probably might land up crying, but I will hold myself. I think the most emotional moment, there were two life-changing moments in my life. First was when my dad passed away. I think it was a 360-degree flip in my life because he was everything to me. My father, my friend, my cheerleader, everything. And whatever happened to him happened all of a sudden. So it was actually like a movie. that we are sitting having dinner,
Mm.
and after 4 hours, he's just not there.
Mm.
So that was one of the most emotional uh, point in my life. Second was when my daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the first hour that I held her in my arms. That's, I think,
Yeah.
when I held her, and she used to look little bit like my father. She has
Okay.
my dad's nose.
All right.
Like I have my dad's nose. She has my nose. So yeah, she has my dad's nose. But when I looked at her, the first thing that came in my mind was oh shit, my dad should have been here. Because he loved daughters. He always wanted daughters. He never wanted sons.
Yeah.
By God's grace, he got 2 of them.
Yeah.
God was very kind to him that way. And when my daughter was born, the first thing that came in my mind was that he should have been there to share this moment. I know wherever he is, he's blessing me and
Yeah.
her day in and day
Of
out.
course.
But yeah, his presence was missed immensely
Mm.
the day she was born.
Yeah. Yeah. That's as special. I actually was. I would say that I miss, like, I judged my father for so many things. I judged him for not being there when I needed him. I judged him for so many things. But then when he died, like, I lost him to COVID in 2021, and then when he died, like, I think for a month I was just crying, 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 and I was supposed to go to Bangalore those days, and I just postponed it. And then I said, what would I do with my life? I actually was not doing any work. I was just thinking about him, like, I just him. That was the biggest regret that I had. And now, whenever I see, like, at my success and everything, I say that, okay, my father is not there to see, and though he struggled a lot for us. So it's an emotional moment, and I think it's an emotional moment for us women to think about our fathers like that.
Yes. And if you ask me, I miss him day in and day out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm stuck somewhere, the first person that I pray to would be him. And it does wonders for me.
Yeah.
So my mother always tells me that no matter what you say, he's always around you.
Yes.
He's always protected you. And even after he's gone, he's protected you.
Yeah.
Because I've been in major accidents.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been alive.
Okay.
But somehow I feel his presence is always around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's always blessing me wherever I'm stuck, whenever I'm stuck. Even if I'm feeling depressed, I just look at his pic and I talk to him and I feel he's reciprocating back. I know it's very, very, very maddening of me to say that, but then I believe.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it happens. This happens. Yeah. Aditi, what's one misconception people have about your success story that you would like to set straight today?
to be very honest, Hina, if you honestly ask me, people may have whatever misconception they want or they have. I really don't care. As I told you, I don't care.
Yeah.
You can build a palace in your head imagining me. I really don't care. But very rightly, as I said, till the time you don't walk in my shoes, don't judge me for where I am today. It's very simple. Stand in my shoes for a day, just one day, 24 hours, and then tell me whether the success that I have today was just given to me or did I earn it.
Earned it, yeah, of course. Yeah. So, what does a normal day in the life of the star of the movie look like?
Very boring.
Very boring.
Very boring. I get up checking emails I just get up with my phone in my hand, checking emails, checking my messages. I try and meditate, which I always fail at because my phone keeps on ringing.
Okay.
I started gym, God knows how many times. I've never been honest to gym, and my instructor has been after my life. The only thing I love in my life is food,
Mm-hmm.
and I can eat.
Oh,
So it doesn't look like my favorite food is. It's it's going to sound very stupid. It's gonna be dal, rice, bhindi ka sabzi.
Wow.
and potatoes.
Nice.
I'm a potato freak.
Oh, really?
But I'm a Marwari. What do you expect?
Yeah.
And I love spicy food.
Mm.
You give me all the junk in the world, I can have it.
Mm.
So I'm a junkie that ways. But yeah. And my day ends with calls, with messages. But once in a day, there comes a point wherein I'm very stressed. That is the time I just take a 15 or 20 minute breather. And I love dancing.
Mm.
So I just put music on blast
Okay.
and I let myself go
Nice.
for those 20 minutes. Then I'm back to normal. Then I start my work again.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's how my entire day goes, day in and day out. That's how the schedule has been from last 4 years, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you aiming to achieve in the next 3 years?
A lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've just begun. This is just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I have a lot more to achieve.
Yeah. And where do you see Fortuna 3 years from now?
I would say becoming a Fortune 500 company.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
I'm sure that you're going to do it because in just 2 years you have done amazing job. Yeah. If the movie of your life was a Netflix film, what would the title be?
Finding Aditi. It's very difficult.
Okay. And why so?
Why so? Because I think up until now I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have achieved so many things in life, I know I have the clarity. But been moving to so many cities, different places in say 20 years of span. So I think somewhere I'm still finding myself.
That's the whole journey, right?
Yeah, that's the whole journey. But I think if you want a movie after my name, I think it would be Finding Aditi, because I think I'm not gonna stop finding myself. I'm still figuring out. Still figuring out.
And what message would you like to leave the world with today?
Don't stop.
Mm.
Don't take a break. If you fail harder, fail more. But after failing, please get up, dust yourself up and move on.
Yeah.
Because failing is not the end of the journey. It is the start of your journey.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Beautiful. Failure is just the part of a big, huge success.
Yes.
Yeah. Without failure, you cannot be successful.
That's what I feel. Because I think I've failed so many times, and it's good to fail.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned, it's really good. Because till the time you're not going to taste failure, you will not understand how beautiful success is. So you should fail. Fail more often.
Yeah.
As you said, fail faster.
Fail faster.
So that the success can come to you faster.
Yes. Thank you so much, Aditi. It was a beautiful conversation, and it's like you were so spontaneous, and I don't think that I acted like a podcast host. It was just like two friends talking.
Thank you, Ina. Thank you for convincing me to doing this, because I am somebody who has a lack of sense of cameras. I would say I'm still looking at you because I'm scared of the camera. But thank you so much for getting me here today. And as you rightly said, it was more like having a discussion with a friend.
A conversation.
It was a conversation, and it's more important to have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you so much for believing in me to have this conversation in the first place. And yeah, thank you so much.
Well done.
This is The Corporate Life. More stories, more insight, more truth. Until the next episode, stay curious. Don't forget to subscribe.